Okay, now anyone, I'll just repeat myself for joined. Anyone has any kind of doubt over the last two sessions, or everything is clear? Because everything needs clear for you to understand today's session. Because today we'll be covering only Benjamin Graham. So anyone has any kind of doubt, now is the time to ask. Amar, if you have missed the first session, yesterday we had did a review of the first session. Basically, we had three screeners in the first session, which we covered yesterday as well. So if you have any kind of doubt in yesterday's session, you can let me know, because in yesterday's session already I have reviewed the session itself, and that's how I
Okay.
progress. Because every session I take, I'll always review the earlier sessions so that there is no lingering doubts.
Sure. Okay.
So anybody, Amar and anybody else, are you all clear about the first two sessions, or any kind of doubt you are having? Just let me know right away. The silence means everybody is clear, I hope.
Before going to start, Vijit, I have one doubt. So whatever the calculation we are doing for to purchase the stock, is it for short term or long term?
Okay, who is speaking right now?
Yeah, this is Rakesh. Rakesh.
Oh, Rakesh, okay, tell me.
Like for example, after 7 weeks, I want to do stock trade, not stock investment. Like I want to buy a stock for 1 month. I want to sell if I get good price. Will this all this calculation will help you to do the stock trading?
Remember, for one thing, I'll thing. Wait, I'll just explain. You can hear me now. I hope properly.
Yeah, your voice is clear.
Okay. Uh, Remember that. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure, Jit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, most important thing for a value investor is when to buy. When to sell is uh, is of a secondary criteria, because we decide when to sell basis the market upswing, and how far the valuations match up to the intrinsic value. When to sell is of secondary importance as compared to when to buy, because only when you buy uh, at a proper price, then only it makes sense for you to sell. Because if you buy at a wrong time, you can never you can yourself in a profitable position. That's why uh, the main uh, the main analysis of value investing is when to buy. Now to answer the question of Rakesh, uh, uh, can you just repeat the question for everybody else's sake?
Like I want to give myself full time to stock trading. Just I want to buy and sell shares like for weekly ones or whenever I get good price. So is all or the exercise we're going to do in the future 7 weeks, will those exercise help us to do the stock trading daily basis?
No, no. First of all, the approach you are taking uh, is not a value investor's approach, because value investors invest, not trade.
Yeah.
So as we discussed in the first session, which we had, the holding period is minimum 1 year, and in maximum time there is no limit.
Yes, I remember that equation. Yeah, you told me.
So a trader does not have that kind of either patience or that kind of time horizon to actually become value investors. So remember, when we are value investors, we already have a holding period of minimum 1 year. Even if the company is doing worse to worse, we still hold the company, not less than that. So actually, to answer your question, Rakesh, no, it doesn't help in trading because value investing is a completely different mindset. It doesn't help in trading, it helps in investing. So even if you, when you decide when to buy, you stick to your commitment for minimum 1 year. After that, you can sell or not. That is purely your perspective based on how you do the calculations. The calculations are meant to do two things. Now, this is for everybody's benefit. Not only Rakesh, but the other listener, I want to tell you the calculations which we do have two purposes. First, to know when to buy. The calculations give us the indication of when to buy. And once we buy a stock, we perform a minimum range of calculation to we do not do because the main research is already done when we bought the stock. Now when we decide to sell a stock, we do not need to do all those calculations. Money is already gone into that stock, so when to sell is like 10% of the calculation. So suppose like yesterday, I'll just open. You can all see the screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just open that Excel sheet which we did yesterday. See, everybody see this Excel sheet clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll, I'll maximize this. Hello, all can see this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we had done so many calculations basically to come up with four tests of investing. Hello.
Yeah, Shubhajit.
Yeah. So we did calculations. Uh, we calculated intrinsic value. We did a live case study of one of the banks. We calculated a weighted average cost of capital. We calculated intrinsic value. Then we did all the other tests. We did calculated enterprise value. Everything we did. Four basic comprehensive tests we carried out for this company to decide if we want to buy the stock. Now, suppose, obviously, yesterday, none of the criterias, if you remember,
Yes.
for this particular company, none of the criterias passed. In the current scenario, we do not invest in this company. But say, for hypothetical sake, only for hypothetical sake, suppose two criteria did pass the test. Okay. Suppose let's say for hypothetical sake, two of the criteria did pass the hypothetical test. So we decide to go ahead with the investment, uh, and maximum investment which we will put forward is, because we are beginner investors, we do not want so much of our resources. Maximum 500 rupees we'll put into a single stock, not more than that. And the share price should be less than current share price should be less than 20 rupees. Is everybody following this?
Okay.
Uh, because because if we take too expensive a stock like Maruti Suzuki, which is around 1900 rupees, 24,000 rupees a stock, or we take something which is 1900 rupees a stock, we will not get even half a share. We will not even get a quarter of a share. So we do not we do not want to go those kind of stocks. We want to go for stocks which meet the criteria but are less than 20 rupees in price, so that at least 25 shares we can purchase if we decide to put in 500 rupees per share. Am I clear so far?
Yes.
Hi, Shubhaji, Atul this side.
Yes.
I just want to know, in the current scenario, the
Yes.
market is so volatile that the good stocks has been broken up to 35 to 40%.
Correct.
So in current scenario, if we on the scale of this 1 to 4 parameters,
Yeah.
if we try to analyze all the stocks, I think all the stocks will fail our this scale in the current scenario. All good
No,
stocks will fail.
no, Atul, no, Atul. You are missing one point. Uh, if
Yes.
if the markets go down, value investors have the test designed to buy in the low phase. So obviously, these companies are still overvalued. They are not meeting the criteria. If even if the stocks have been pushed down, they are not pushed down to the extent that value investing criteria is met. So when they go even further down and meet our value investing criteria, then only we buy. So value investing is a philosophy of buy low and sell high. So when can we buy low? We can buy low only when the prices are going down in the market, and we sell high only when the prices are going up in the market. So that's why we decided something known as contrarian mindset. We go against the crowd. Now, yesterday's, if you attended the session yesterday, there were three rules which Rakesh also noted down. Rakesh, remember?
Yes.
That be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So when were others greedy? When Sensex was touching 42,000 and everybody was very happy. That is the time we were had to sell as a value investor. We don't want to invest. We want to sell our portfolio. But now that the market is going down, everybody wants to sell. This is the time when we meet the research criteria for the company. Remember research criteria, because just one criteria is not enough. Four criteria may be enough for an investment which is only 500 rupees. And when the fact is that you'll be investing in a minimum of 30 companies, not less than that. So when you are investing in minimum 30 companies, four criteria should be more than enough, and you do not require any further analysis, which we discussed in the very first session, if you remember, Rakesh.
Yes.
No,
So,
yeah, okay.
and Atul, the
Yeah.
market bias, value investors' bias is to buy low, but it is not low enough to meet right now the value investors' criteria for the company which we covered yesterday. So, Atul, my answer to you is we need to wait even further. We need to wait even further for the market to go even further down.
Okay. But when the market was at 42, this same the company SDFC, his share was around 1200. Now, now the market is at 28
Yeah.
and its share is 80. So how can we analyze ki at that 1200 was not costly and 800
No,
is cheap.
Atul, right? Uh,
Right.
Atul, we do not go by only the price. We have four set criteria, and at least two of those criteria needs to be met before we go ahead with the investment.
Okay.
And we do not go by price, because price is only a comparison point. Three of the criteria, if you see, are talking about price. So price should be less than half of less than half of intrinsic value. Price should be less than 40% of book value. Price should be less than half of net current asset value per share. So price is an important point, no doubt. But as long as none of these criteria are met, we are not investing in this company. because what is value investing? It is regarding margin of safety. Unless the criteria is met, as value investors, we do not invest in the company. So, Atul, the main answer for you is wait further until price in comparison to these criteria goes green rather than stay still in the red.
And from this, from last year, yesterday's exercise, we
Yeah.
have calculated that we have calculated his approximate rate at what is his right price for HDFC Bank. It's around 330 or 400, I think.
Can you repeat?
From yesterday's exercise, we come to know that this HDFC Bank fair
Yes, yes.
HDFC
It is 400. It is 400. How? It is your current price uh, divided by 2.
Right.
No,
So
no, no, no.
as
Sorry,
per
not current price. Not current price. C20 is what? C20 is intrinsic value. So your current price should be less than half of your intrinsic value. That is the
okay, as per that calculation, the fair price to buy that stock will be around 400 rupees. For
yes,
that
correct,
calculation.
correct. But obviously that criteria is not being met.
Right.
So that criteria failed for that particular company. Is that understood, Vatul?
Yeah. Slightly little bit. It will take time. Okay, it's just a beginner's lesson. So we'll take time, slowly. We'll try to understand, get the things, more clarity on the things.
Yeah, because you need to get clarity for you to understand today's lesson. That's why we were reviewing yesterday's. Because today's lesson is all about building upon what we have already learned.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else has any other question, or can we directly now proceed to the Benjamin Graham criteria? Please put it in the chat panel.
So, Shubhajit, this is Amar here.
Yes.
Why did we actually calculate margin of safety yesterday? Because I think the criteria is intrinsic value should be greater than the current price, right?
Intrinsic value should be more than 2 times your current price. So margin of safety means unless you are below 398, you are not going to invest. Your current price should be below 398, then only you'll invest in this company.
Only then your intrinsic value is actually the double of market price, double or more. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
But we could have actually inferred it straight away when we know the current price and intrinsic value was already there, 796.
Yeah. From the first thing, it is itself you notice that that it's beating it.
It is not meeting. Okay.
Pretty obvious, because if your current price is more than intrinsic value, obviously margin of safety is not going to be meeting anyway.
Nothing. Okay.
Can't be. There is no possibility it meets.
Correct. Okay.
Hello.
Got it.
If everybody else is clear, then we proceed on to Benjamin Graham's criteria now.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So still Okay, okay, all of you. Hello.
Yeah, there's a white screen. Yeah.
There's a white screen.
Yeah, now there is some guru focus something.
Wait. Is this screen clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So today we begin our intermediate journey into value investing, because basic value investing screener we have already discussed. Intermediate journey into value investing, we start with analyzing the rules set by Benjamin Graham. Before we start Benjamin Graham, we need to know who Benjamin Graham actually was. Because why should we study him? Why should we study his rules? Uh, I can. I'm not arbitrarily asking someone to arbitrarily just giving someone the honor of being the father of value investing. The value investing field came into picture in 1933. So I'll just give you a 2-minute history for all of you, so that you can appreciate the person who is responsible for all our uh, all our greatest investors, who are all his students, and who themselves has passed on so much knowledge to others. But it all started with Benjamin Graham. So I'll just let you know in 2 minutes time who Benjamin Graham was. Now, Benjamin Graham was an investor who invested in 1928 stock market. Now, as you know, if you have all have done a little studied a little bit of history, 1928 was a big boom market in the stock market era. And that is the time where there was no Securities and Exchange Commission. I'm talking about the United States. There was no Securities and Exchange Commission at that particular point of time. And Securities and Exchange Commission started only in 1933, in the midst of the Great Depression. But 1928 investments used to happen in the spur of the moment, as per the emotions of the market. So if people were ecstatic, there used to be prices which were going up, and if people were depressed, they used to sell the prices, and they used to sell them in the market, and the prices used to drop drastically down. Now, in the 1928 up market, Benjamin Graham himself didn't know about all the rules he himself set out about 5 years later. So, what he did was that he invested like the others. And then in the 1929 Great Depression starting, where there was a huge stock market crash, that is the time he lost nearly all of his money. So between 1929 to 1934, what he did was analyze the rule number one. Rule number one is never lose money. So if you are investing your hard-earned money, your rule number one is never lose your money. How much you gain or not, that is a different set of research, that is a different set of criteria. But rule number one, as we saw even in our Excel sheet, is never lose money. That is the golden rule of any value investor. That your own money should be safe. Now, Benjamin Graham, for the next 5 years between 1929, I hope all of you can hear me properly.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So between 1929 and 1934, he studied a set of rules, and he published a book on those rules called Security Analysis. And even today, from 1934, we are at 2020. So after 86 years also, that book is actually one of the all-time classics. Uh, any value investor who studied under Benjamin Graham, any further researcher who even studied his theories, everybody talks about that book as the like the ultimate be all and end all classic. And that book he wrote with somebody known as Mr. Dodd. So Mr. Dodd and Benjamin Graham together wrote that book called Security Analysis. And security analysis, if you go through, if any of you can purchase through Kindle, you will see that security analysis is not a very user friendly book, in the sense that there are too many technical terms, there are too many quantitative analysis. It's not good for investors who are just poking their toe in the waters like us. So for them, in 1949, Benjamin Graham, in a solo act of you can say legacy, he wrote a book called The Intelligent Investor, and this is the book nearly every value investor who wants to follow the school of value investing, everybody needs to read that book. Obviously, in our busy world, we do not have that time. So what we are doing today is giving you a set of rules, and then in a live example, I'll be setting up a screener for those rules, so that we know that these stocks which come out of the screener will be following those set of rules. And there are three set of rules. If everybody is clear so far, then I can proceed. There are three set of rules. Am I understood?
Yes.
There are three set of rules, and those three set of rules are known as rules for the defensive investor, rules for the defensive stocks, rules for the enterprising stocks, and rules for the one second, and rules for the net stocks. These are the three criteria. Now, what are these terms? We'll go one by one. I'll be studying. I'll be teaching you in detail, and not only teaching you in detail, but also going step by step as per what Benjamin Graham himself has said. So what we'll do, rather than theoretically study the rules, we'll actually do a live case study, so that you can understand the whole thing properly. Okay. Am I clear so far?
Yes.
So we are going to we are seeing my account here. Just one second. Hello. Hello. Can everybody see the screen of where I've gone to screener.in?
Yes.
We are able to.
Okay. So what we are going to do is, for each of the Benjamin Graham criteria, we are going to build a set of stocks, right? Build a set of screeners, so that we know that only when the screeners are met, the stocks are meeting all these criteria. Okay. So we'll set the screeners. So the defensive.
Sorry,
Yes.
Shubhajit, can you please go back to the screener and show where to how to get to this page?
Yes. Okay. So, so suppose you log in. Suppose you log in. So you will be seeing this page. Okay. You will be seeing this page.
Yeah.
Immediately after you go to screener.in, you will have the login option, this login logout option. So after you log in, you'll see this particular page. All right.
Okay.
And then you go to screens. You tap the buttons called screens. Okay.
Okay.
And you will be pressing on new stock screen. This plus option.
Okay.
So now we get to this page.
Okay. Thanks, Shom. Okay.
Okay. So now we start with defensive stocks. Now, as per Benjamin Graham, defensive stocks do not require much research because they are already high quality stocks. So they are safe stocks per se. And how he defines safe stocks, now we will construct. Your sales should be $500 million or so sales should be minimum 1,000 crores. I'm going step by step as per this criteria because first we are going to name the screen as high quality stock. But before we do before we run the query, we cannot name the thing. So sales should be. We are all dealing with Indian rupees over here. Understood? So sales should be minimum 400 crores. Sales should be crores. So sales should be minimum 400 crores. Okay. Now, as we
but this is also applicable for US stocks, you mean?
yes, it is applicable for. Since we are dealing with Indian stocks, that's why we deal with Indian values.
Okay.
And
but is it calibrated for Indian companies, or is it the same denomination as in the US company?
It is exactly the same denomination. I mean, the principle, the formula is same for all the companies around the world. But the figure should be figure instead of dollars, it will be in Indian rupees and in Indian context because we are taking minimum 100 crores as the book value and 400 crores as the sales. So sales should be 4 times your book value. That is the minimum what is here. So we are changing the numbers as per Indian context because absolute will always changing always keep changing as per your era of investing as well as your country of investment. What holds in USA does not hold in India. So since we are in India, we'll take the numbers as per Indian criteria.
But his first thing is saying 100 million, right? 100 million is around 700 crores, right? If I'm not wrong.
100 million. $100 million. Yes. $100 million. $100 million is 10 crores. 10 crore dollars. 100 because every 10 million is 1 crore. So 100 million is 10 crore dollars. 10 crore dollars and
so 7,000 crores, huh? Okay.
Can't be 7,000. It will be 700.
Because $1 million is 7,000.
It will be
7 crores, right?
1 million is 7 crores.
So 10 million is 70 crores. 100 million is 700 crores.
700 crores, yes, not 7,000 crores.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 700. Yeah. So
700, yeah.
So your value of 400 is coming from where?
No, because I'm taking 400 because for value investing, I'll be Rakesh, kindly note this down for Indian criteria.
Yes, wait. I'm on mute actually.
Yeah, Rakesh, kindly note this down. in Indian scenario, we get the best value investing scenarios only for companies more than 100 crore rupees, but less than uh, which are less than 500 crore or 1,000 crore benchmark, which is set by the large cap companies. So we go by the small caps universe. So small cap universe normally has a book value of 100 crores. Kindly note this down, Rakesh, in Indian scenario. I'm not talking about US scenario.
Yeah. For Indian
Amar, are you
scenario,
clear?
yeah.
Amar, are you clear?
Okay, so
Amar, Amar, this is the first part of your criteria. Now, second part of your criteria is your sales should be minimum 4 times your book value.
okay,
So minimum
Okay.
sales. So since we are talking about including small cap stocks in the universe, we take a minimum book value of 100 crores, and we talk about uh, sales of minimum 400 crores. That's why we are getting these figures. And Rakesh, kindly note this down in your notepad.
got it. Yeah,
So sales value should be 4 times more than book value, right?
Correct.
And the first point is for Indian scenario, we get the value investing more than 100 crores or less than 500 crores set by the big cap.
Yeah, it should not be large cap, because value investing normally doesn't work in large cap unless it is unless, as I think Amar pointed out earlier, that no, Atul pointed out, Amar pointed out, I don't know who, that market has dropped down to such an extent that we should get bargains, but actually we didn't get bargains. So who pointed that out today?
Atul.
Atul, okay. Yeah. So no, we normally value investing does not work for large caps, because they have many other rules, and they have many other criteria which are not favorable as such to value investing screens, unless we go through a real down phase, which we are doing now. So if after our thorough research, if we come across any company which meets our criteria and is a large cap stock, we are very lucky, and that too at a price which meets our criteria, then that can happen only during the bear market which we are seeing right now. But right now, I'm not going into large caps. We restrict our analysis to more than small cap. Of course, we are not saying we can exclude large caps, but we start with small caps. Is it clear so far?
Yeah. You mean we are not going to take risk by investing in large caps, right?
It's not a risk, but
No, it's not a risk. What you're saying is it's difficult to find value
Yeah, correct.
investment
Yes.
in large stock, right?
yes,
They-
correct. Yes.
So value buys would predominantly be in the small and medium segment.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Cap starts from 500 or 1,000 crores.
Large cap, I think minimum 1,000 crores it starts.
1,000 crore, na?
Yeah, minimum 1,000 crores. Unless you're talking about Reliance or HDFC, or those have 62,000, 70,000 crores. Those are different league altogether. They are ultra large caps.
Right.
So
Okay.
even your Nifty 100 is large caps. So your Nifty 50 may be ultra large caps, and your Sensex 30 may be ultra large caps, like that. So it is all like going rank by rank. So we are constructing our screener from the beginning. So we are taking sales to be at least 4 times your book value or market value. So what is criteria 1? It should be 100 million in sales. So instead of 400, or let us take a round figure. Let us take 500. Okay. Then what does it say? Are all of you able to see the cursor?
Yes.
It says second criteria, current assets should be at least twice of your current liability. So every time we want to add a new criteria, we put this word called AND. So current assets by current liabilities, it is known as current ratio. This is something which is your divided by current assets divided by current liabilities, or better to, so for not so familiar with accounting background, I'll still note the year. Current assets divided by current liabilities should be, what does he say? At least twice.
Greater
So
than.
greater than equal to 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Then again we put, and there are 7 criteria which meets defensive stocks. So obviously, if it meets 7 criteria, means they are very safe stocks to play with. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
So 7 stocks we do one by one. Long-term debt should be greater than net current assets. What does this mean? Long-term debt is there. It's not there. Liabilities. Okay, one thing we can do. Rakesh, we
We have total debts
we do debt. We do total debt
minus current
debt.
liabilities.
Yeah, correct. We do total debt minus current liabilities.
Yeah.
We have to improvise if we don't have the.
Yes, yes.
This should be. This should be. What does he say? This should be greater than net current assets. So what does net current assets means? Greater than.
Should be less than. Should not exceed.
He said,
I think it says should not
not
exceed.
exceed. Should be less than equal.
Less than.
Right. Should be less than equal to current assets less current liabilities. Okay. Third thing. No, we have done third. We have already done 3, I think. Yes, we have done 3.
Yeah,
Now-
Shubhajit,
It should be only
how-
current assets, right? Not current liabilities. It's not saying should not exceed net
No,
current.
net,
assets.
no, net current assets. Net current assets is current assets minus current liabilities.
Okay.
Yeah, what are you saying, Rakesh? You saying
Yeah.
something?
No, same point I mentioned already.
Yeah. No, it is net current assets. Net current assets formula is current assets minus current liabilities, which is basically in everyday parlance, it is called working capital.
Working capital.
Yes.
Okay.
But we do not have such terms in the screener, so we have to go with whatever they have. Now, third criteria, common stock in net profit for 10 years have to be positive. This is difficult to net profit. Average net profit 10 years. Average net, average net profit or average
Net worth.
no, not net worth. I'm talking about average earnings 10 years. Yes,
Earnings. Yeah. Earnings.
this is the one. This should always be greater than 0. No, not equal to 0. It should always be greater than 0. Obviously, we don't want if it is 0. So it always should be greater than 0. Average profit during, remember, average profit during last 10 years. So this is a perfect criteria. Then we are performing the screener 1/4. Uninterrupted dividend payment for at least last 20 years. Very difficult to meet.
It means they have to pay dividends every year without any interruption, right?
For 20 years, remember.
Oh my God.
Dividend payout. So minimum 5 years, we do not have more than 5 years. We have to do with whatever. We do not have more than 5 years here. If there was 20 years, I would have put 20 years more than glad. Has everyone understood?
Yeah, but then this average still greater than zero won't suffice if 1 year they have paid and the other year they haven't, but the average will be obviously more than
No,
5.
no.
Or more than
If
zero,
they
right?
if they have not paid 1 year, the average will anyway the average will anyway drop down. So if it is dropping down significantly in comparison to other industry players, you can say that the company is dicey that way. So
Okay.
even if you don't have 20 years data with you, at least you can use that data for comparison with its competitors, isn't it?
Yes.
So whatever we have, we need to work around with that. But that doesn't mean that it is not useful. Even 5 years data is still useful. And
Mixed,
now
yeah.
now we go to minimum increase at least 1/3 in price earnings per share in last 10 years. So this is another problematic criteria. Price earnings growth rate, PEG ratio. This is already 5 years. What did we say over here? 10 years. We can't do it. We can't help it. They have already calculated this thing for 5 years. So we'll have to work to see it. This criteria table which we are building is not perfect as Benjamin Graham would have liked. But at least with Indian scenario, we get the best that we have. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this price to earnings profit growth should be what they are saying should be minimum 1/3. So it should, let us take a even more stringent criteria. It should be minimum. It should be greater than 0.4. Okay. Because 1/3 is 0.33, we'll take 0.4. Understood?
Yeah.
Then current price should not be more than 15 times average earnings. Average earnings we already over here. We have over here. Current price should be less than or equal to 15 times average earnings of last 10 years. Already we calculated this last 10 years, remember?
Yes.
I don't think any Indian company will meet these kind of criteria, but still I'll see if any company is that good to meet all these criteria. The 7 criteria, if they meet even 5 criteria, I'll be very happy. But still, just for theoretical sake, I'm doing it. If we come up with companies which beat it, hats off to these companies. Current price should not be more than 1.5 times the book value. So what we are doing, current price should be less than or equal to 1.5 times book value. And book value by default comes out to comes to be on a per share basis, which we discussed in our earlier live examples, if you remember.
Yes, yeah.
Uh,
Book value per share.
yeah. So let's see if any company meets this. We'll run this query now. Syntax error. Syntax error means
Shubhajit, is there a space after 1.5?
I think this
10 times.
Does it need a space?
after 1.5. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean,
No, it's multiplied, that's it.
Let's see. Some issue. Because if it says no company meets your criteria, that is different. But syntax error means there's an error in which the formulas have been placed. So that shouldn't be the case. Where can it be? Where the error can happen?
We can come from cells. Just remove the space between more than and fan. Yes.
Let's go one by one.
Yes, and current assets. Just remove the space between current assets. Divide.
no, I think those are system prompted. I think yeah. I think it will need that.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Current assets by.
You want to just replace it by current ratio?
That is better.
Let's see. Current ratio is nothing but the same thing.
Yeah.
Current ratio. Debt minus current liabilities should be less than equal to.
Current ratio.
Let's delete this equal to, because I think equal to is not something which is accepted by system. Let's see.
Current ratios. Second one. Current ratio.
No,
Where
no.
sec-
No. Current assets minus current liabilities is not current.
No. Current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities.
No, just remove the is equal to next to current ratio.
Okay. Debt minus current liability, this is okay. Let's see. There should be no gap between brackets, I think.
Yeah.
Wherever brackets are, there should be a gap. There shouldn't be a gap. See now. Current assets minus current liabilities. Average average 5 years dividend.
There's a space after that.
Less than or
Brackets
greater
and
than.
average earnings second last year. Between the bracket and A, second last.
Okay. I didn't know they were so strict.
No, I just trying.
Yeah. Because getting the screener is very important. Current price is less than 15 times. Where is the error coming? Debt minus.
Why can't remove the spaces between that less than or greater than symbols?
Where?
We have space, right? Current ratio space more than 2. Just remove the space. I hope it will work.
Yeah.
from beginning sales, we have space between 500 and sales.
Yeah, let's see that.
Yes. Even that one also. In front of sales also.
You just want to copy the entire query in a notepad or something and just run the first one and see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Instead of doing this, changing the space for everyone, all the lines.
I think first one is also not running. Sales greater than 500 is also not running. Sales greater than and is also not running.
Just probably copy the query in some note.
Copy the query. That is important because the syntax we can change, but the query is important because these are the set of rules which we need to follow.
Yeah.
Does Screener have the any restriction of how many screens how many screens can be used in a single query? Because that shouldn't be the case, but let's see. Can't they specify where is the syntax error? That would have been so good.
Yeah.
Like Excel says that this is where possible error is there, but we don't have that luxury over here. Rakesh, in the meantime, just note down these criteria. Copy paste this criteria or note down this criteria.
I don't have access to copy.
You can't copy paste. Yeah, just note down this criteria.
Can you copy paste in the group so I can make it there out?
Rupesh, what is working? You are saying? One second.
That's better.
But where is
last two? Keep only till 0.4. It is working till 0.4.
But what about sales?
It's also working. If you remove
Copy what I have pasted there.
no space.
Except last two lines.
Remove space between sales and that get there. That's the only error. Yeah, space between sales and their symbol, right?
Okay, one second.
Just remove the space.
Space is automatically coming.
Yeah.
No, you need the space. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Rupesh, what you are saying is working?
It's working for me. You can just copy paste what I have pasted if it's working for me. Till PG ratio 0.4 is working. Last two is not working.
The last two is not working. And sales is not working.
So sales, current ratio, average earning, 10 years average, 5 years dividend, and PG ratio, everything is working till PG ratio.
Yes, for me also.
Adi Shivajit, you
Copy
should not
paste
be
from
removing
the
the
chat
space.
room to your query.
Yeah, you
Copy
don't
paste
remove
from
the
chat
space.
room to your query.
What you are saying?
No, Shivajit, the first sales greater than 500, don't remove the space. Put the space back in there. I think you need to have that. Sales space greater than space. Yeah.
One second. Sales greater than 500.
There is no space anywhere. Remove all the spaces.
Remove all the spaces. Okay.
Yeah, it's working fine. Tell me, the PG ratio 0.4 is working, but afterwards and current price they are not working.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll copy this whole thing. Can you copy from here?
Yeah, you copy paste this and apply? I hope it's working. I have pasted in that chat box. Just copy
Okay.
and paste the scenario.
Okay. Copy here. I'll delete this whole thing
Yeah.
because it's already there, and paste it. This is
Run this query. I think it should work now. But the other two is no, you just run the query.
Rupesh, this is the query you said, right?
Yeah, just run the query and check.
Can
It's
you run the
working.
query?
Yeah. Finally.
But they're missing
The
two
current here,
keys.
the last two was not working. No, the syntax error for last two.
No, there is a solution for that. We will sort by PE and not consider anything above 50.
There's a book value and the other one also is there. No? Average earning and book value.
Ideally, we should have those credits. My mouse is not now the whole thing is buffering. If I think Rakesh, you have that free account, right? Can you paste this whole thing and then you paste as I'm telling you? Okay. You just open your free Skinner account and
I'm on, but these two are sorry.
and then you go to this new screen.
New screen? New. I mean, one more browser.
No. I'm saying you have not. I'm telling in your own account. I'm saying this screen account, dot account, com account.
I'm on same page. What are in the page till PEG ratio? We are getting data. When I add these other two ratios, I'm getting syntax error.
Okay, so that means
But yet, I think this is not correct. Current price is less than or equal to 15. Average earning, it's not linking average earning with this 15. That is why the syntax error. If you remove, just keep only equal to or less than 15, you will find. But this average earning 10 years is not coming.
Okay, syntax error is saying syntax error. Yes.
so what is the suggestion you're saying? Current price?
No, it is not linking with average earning. That you need to have a separate somewhere. It's not current price is less than equal to 15. It's coming, but not it's connecting to average earning 10 year.
Okay. Let's scrap that. Let's scrap that. We let us take current price should be less than 1.5 times of book value. That we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Current price should be less than 1.5 times. Now we'll see whether this formula also has any error or not.
No, it will be have error because it's not this book value and 1.5 is not linking anywhere.
It's not multiplying 1.5 into book value. So that's the error.
Let's multiply this.
Yes. Can you check now?
Yes,
So it's coming up.
It's coming.
In the same fashion, I do the missing one also.
Let's try.
Current price
Current price
is less than.
is less than
15, 15
15
into average earnings.
average 10 years earnings.
Earnings.
Average earnings 10 years. 10 years.
Yes.
Let's see. If it does, if the last criteria doesn't work, we'll scrap it. But it works. Hurrah!
Yes.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Yep.
Finally, because if it says doesn't match the criteria, I'm okay with that. If it says doesn't match the syntax, that is depressing. Because so it works now finally. So these 31 companies, God bless them, meet all the 7 criteria which are set up by Benjamin Graham. So that's absolutely great. So let us save this query. I'm so closing the chat box now. Let us save this query as Benjamin defensive. Rakesh,
Yes.
Note down the criteria that Benjamin defensive should have minimum 10 stocks.
Sure.
Benjamin defensive should have minimum 10 stocks, maximum 40 stocks.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll just
Minimum 10 and maximum 40 what?
40
stocks.
stocks.
40 stocks.
Stocks.
Because here anyway it can't be 40. It meets only 30 criteria. So anyway it doesn't reach 40. But it should be minimum 10. Suppose you don't have that much money that you cannot invest in all the 31 stocks. You should invest minimum 10 stocks of that, so that no more than 10% of your money is stuck up in any single company. Because if you cannot invest in the stock market in defensive stocks also till you have at least funds enough to invest in 10 stocks. Understood?
Yeah. Is the criteria right? Benjamin criteria, right? Is one of the criteria. One of the criteria, right?
Which one you are saying?
This minimum 10 stocks and maximum 40 stocks.
We are only talking about Benjamin defensive now. There are 2 other criteria of Benjamin Graham, which also we'll set up. But in terms of Benjamin defensive, Rakesh, kindly note this down.
Yeah.
For Benjamin defensive, you need minimum 10 stocks, maximum 40 stocks or anything you want, but minimum should be 10 stocks.
Yeah.
So between 10 to 40, you can play around as much as you want. But if you don't have funds for 10 stocks also, you cannot enter the market for that kind of stock. Understood?
Okay.
So normally what we do, we invest only in those companies where market price is less than 20 rupees. So how many stocks such are there the market price is less than 20 rupees? Only one. Doesn't matter. So in 500 rupees, if we have for each company, we'll get less than 10 shares for that company. And we can't do much about it because it doesn't fit the criteria as well. The, and if you go by the 31st stock, you won't even get for 500 rupees even a quarter of a share, or just half a share you can buy. Of course, the biggest advantage of demat account is you can purchase even one tenth of a share. That doesn't matter. But then, in terms of your investment analysis and all, it creates havoc because your dividend will be on 1/10 of a share. So that really it becomes very cumbersome. So ideally, we do not invest anything more than this 269 rupees per share. So that at least in our 500 rupees, we get at least 1.5 shares. That's it. 25 shares we invested. That is between 10 to 40, so we are in safe range. Understood?
Yeah.
So we now have Benjamin Graham criteria we have understood for defensive stock. We set up a similar screen.
Shivajit, I have a question here. So basically, the complete list of these 30 stocks are safe stocks.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you repeat?
The complete list of these 31 stocks are, does it mean that these are safe stocks to invest, regardless of the ticket size of my investment? Is it safe to assume that all these?
Yes. The Benjamin Graham criteria is set in such a way that these are defensive stocks. These are safe stocks. So even if you have 500 rupees to invest and you are investing in only 5 companies right now, these are the companies to invest in.
Okay.
And what is the kind of returns that one should expect out of defensive stocks?
Depends.
See, the holding period, as we discussed in the first lecture, holding period is minimum 1 year, and because Benjamin Graham's criteria is such that our price is less than half of its intrinsic value, so we will not lose much, but our gain potential is a lot higher. So already we are buying discounted value stocks. So we'll not lose much, but we'll gain a lot if we wait for minimum 1 year. And if we are getting good cash flow from those dividend, like we are getting good dividend, we'll never sell those stocks. Why should we sell those stocks? When Warren Buffett purchased Citibank Group in 1964, and he's still holding on to those stocks. So almost for now 56 years he's holding stocks. So so if your stocks are meeting the criteria of good stocks, you'll never sell it. Remember, you are not a trader; you are an investor. You are a partner to you are a partner who supports the company in its worst of times, and in the process, you are getting rewarded with supernormal returns, which we discussed in our Excel sheet yesterday. That market gives supernormal value investing stocks. Remember, if you're seeing the screen here, I'm telling you. Can you follow the screen here?
Yes.
See this one. Sensex is giving you 12% return gross. Value investing is giving you compounded annual growth rate of 25 to 30%. After subtracting your market returns, inflation, your fees, taxes, everything, you are still winning by 2%, which is more than good. Be happy. So you are getting rewarded for your for your research into the companies and the fact that you bought those companies. I said that minimum holding period is 1 year. After that, if you are still losing terrible amount of money, then you sell. No issues. But normally it doesn't happen that way because even the worst of the worst crisis it fell for 60% from the peak and then started going up again. So markets normally have their own self-correcting cycles. So because if you follow the value investing criteria, and who are part of the market? We are. So if general markets sell these stocks, there are sections within the market who are value investors. We are the type of people who will buy these bargain companies, who are meeting all the criteria set by Benjamin Graham. And when we are buying the stocks, obviously, when at least 200, 300 of us are there in the market price will again start slowly going up. So investors themselves will see that prices are rising and other people will start joining in. And again, the price cycle will go up on the up territory. This is what happens. Market is a never-ending cycle. It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. But in the long run, it keeps on going up. This is clear.
Understood. Yeah.
So now.
And do you have some guidance on from a portfolio point of view, how much percentage of your portfolio should you be risking? I mean, should you be parking against these defensive stocks?
In terms of portfolio, minimum 50% of your portfolio should be having this stock.
Okay.
Because these are defensive stocks. We have rigorously scanned these stocks. So we, as beginner investors, maximum shares should be in safe stocks like this.
And do you also recommend some exit criteria for this?
Yes, exit criteria is dependent on something known as intrinsic value, which we discussed yesterday. So, yes. Intrinsic value, whole concept of value investing is your current price should be less than half of your intrinsic value, which we started discussion today. Today after the evening, also we started our discussion with that only.
Correct.
That HDFC which we calculated.
MOS one, yeah. Margin of safety.
Yeah, correct. MOS, margin of safety. That is the whole thing. But obviously, unless we know intrinsic value, we do not know margin of safety. Because margin of safety is dependent on the other value itself. So after, suppose, let me give you a very simple example of yesterday's stock only. HDFC is now selling at 900 rupees, okay?
Yeah.
And you find out your intrinsic value of HDFC after you do all your calculations comes out to be 2,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Then because 900 is less than half of 2,000 rupees, half of 2,000 rupees is how much? 1,000 rupees. So because HDFC Bank's current price 900 rupees is less than half of your intrinsic value of 1,000 rupees, you will buy the stock.
Yep.
But if it is 1,200 rupees in intrinsic value, half of 1,200 rupees is how much? 600 rupees. You will not buy the stock.
Okay. In the same scenario, like for example, can you sell this in this scenario? If you have already stock in HDFC, and the scenario is like that, if you have current scenario, can you sell the stock?
You will sell a stock when your price is exactly equal to your intrinsic value or higher than your intrinsic value.
Okay, like 1,200, right? 1,200.
So price is suppose 900 and your intrinsic value is exactly 900. That is the time you will start selling your stocks. And then you how much you'll sell? Remember, you'll sell as much as you get your initial investment back.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is where we discussed on the first session which we had.
Yes.
So how much will sell as long as you get your initial investment back? Suppose now Amar, this question which you are asking, 2000 exit criteria. Suppose we invest 10,000 rupees, okay,
Yeah.
and we have the price of or 9,000 rupees, because let us take
Round figure.
round figures.
Yeah.
So 10 shares we buy. Okay.
Yeah.
We buy 10 shares. Now we will keep on holding to our shares and we'll keep on enjoying the dividends till the time where share price is also 1,200 rupees and intrinsic value of the share is also 1,200 rupees. So then what we will do? Then we'll sell 8 shares. So we'll sell 8 shares. We get 9,600 rupees in our pocket. 9,000 rupees is what we initially invested in. 600 rupees is the gain, and the remaining amount of 2 shares of 12,000, 2 into 1,200, 2,400 rupees is still playing around in the market, and we are still getting our dividends from that. We sell those shares, we keep those shares, we enjoy those shares, we show off everybody those shares. Doesn't matter. We have got our initial investment back. We are completely safe. That is the whole point of value investing. We do not lose money.
But is that a sort of a, if I don't need that 9,000 now, and if I don't have an alternate investment,
Then you put it in cash, because remember, we cannot flout the value investing rules. Your value investing rules, if they are flouted, that means a crash is coming.
okay.
Even if the crash doesn't come, say tomorrow, crash sign is there for all to see, because Benjamin Graham himself suffered a loss from Great Depression. He created all these criteria to be the leading indicators for a market crash, so that you put the cash in your bank, enjoy the interest from that, but do not keep that particular stock in the stock format.
Stock market.
Yes, but not for 2,400 rupees. You keep that 2,400 rupees as long as you want, because after all, that 2,400 rupees is purely your gain. That doesn't matter. But that 9,600 rupees with that 600 rupees gain, that is very critical. That you get back all your initial investments. That is very critical. Understood?
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
That's the whole criteria of value investing, that we do not lose our money.
So basically, even after buying defensive stock, I have to basically monitor
Yes.
my break even. Well, I mean, I have to.
There's a break even, and you don't need to do that often. You need to do that every once a month using a very simple calculation, which I'll show you. But right now we are focusing on buying. We do not go for selling until we finish even the Warren Buffett rules.
Sure. Yeah.
And that will not be now. That will be around 8th week or 9th week, which we discussed already in our agenda. Rakesh has already noted down that agenda.
Yes.
Only after finishing Warren Buffett, we will discuss the simple selling criteria and the exiting strategy. Is that clear?
Makes sense. Yeah. Thanks, Shivaji.
Because we have a lot to learn before we learn the exit strategy. Because entering strategy is what really matters in terms of value investing rather than exit strategy, as we were discussing today also.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Shivajit, one question.
Yes.
Shivajit, one question.
Yeah.
As per Graham's formula, we get 31 companies.
Yes.
And out of 31 companies, if we have to select top 10 companies, how do we select that?
Top 10 companies. Top 10 companies for me.
I have to invest in 5 companies or 10 companies or 2 companies. How do I select out of that 31 lot?
Okay, I'll tell you. I personally, I go by this. Something known as acquirers multiple. If I have money, this for Atul, I think, is it?
Yeah, Atul.
Yeah. Atul, suppose you have money only for 10 companies, you go by something known as acquirers multiple, which is one of the tests which we conducted in yesterday's ratios, if you remember.
Right.
So acquirers multiple should always be top 10 should top 10 less top 10 lowest acquirers multiple you should select.
Okay.
So what is the 10th lowest acquirers multiple? 4.04. So you will select only these companies.
Less than 4.
Not less than 4, top 10, because for obviously you don't have money for all the stocks, so you'll
Right.
select only top 10. So what are the top 10? You'll select up to from 1 to 10, whatever sorting is done by acquirers multiple module, you'll buy as per that. So these are your top.
Right. Right.
Am I clear?
So lower the better, right?
Yeah.
Lower the better, yes. What is the reason? Let us analyze why we are going by acquirers multiple to intuitively understand, to not just as a mathematical
Because its
ratio.
operating income is high, right?
Operating income is higher than all your liabilities, all your equity, less all your cash.
It's generating a lot of profits, right? It's a profitable business.
Very profitable business.
Vis-a-vis the value of the business, right? It is directly. Okay.
Right. This is the criteria. So, Atul, are you clear?
Yes.
Lower the acquirers multiple, which is one of the tests which we did yesterday, better it is.
Yeah. Lower the better.
So, lower the better. And since you don't have money for all the 31 stocks, you purchase just 10 stocks, right? I'm talking about theoretical scenario. I'm not asking you to actually put a demat account and actually buy the stocks tomorrow, because we have a lot to learn.
It's theoretical to get a better understanding.
Yeah, only hypothetical example. But hypothetical example, but something which will really help us to become better value investors down the line. Because we are dealing with live companies. We are not dealing with hypothetical companies like this. We are dealing with live examples. Okay.
Right.
Suppose today you had 10,000 rupees to invest for 10 companies. You will invest in these 10 companies.
Right.
Okay. So now we have calculated, we have spent around 1.5 hours. We have calculated one criteria of Benjamin Graham. Now there are two more criteria to look out for. Okay, before we do that, Rakesh, can you guide me on the menus? How do we go? How do we approach the new screener menu? Can you tell me?
How to? I think it.
How to reach the new screener menu? I asked, I told everybody this thing. Remember? I showed everything. I showed everyone how it is done. From your profile, how to go to create a new screen. So anybody remembers that?
I think I skipped that step. Sorry.
Okay. So I'll show you again.
Go to screens.
Go to screens. Go to new stocks.
Yeah.
Stock screen.
So because we had to discuss 7 criteria, we had to clear a few doubts. We are only at 1/3 of Benjamin Graham's criteria now. So we have to cover the other 2. If some of you are still having the energy, we want to cover the entire Benjamin Graham today only. But are you having the energy? All of you?
I think it's yeah. Are you okay to sort of spare some time tomorrow or before we get to the next topic? This is
Yeah, if you want that, then today then we can have a brief session tomorrow as well, because we are anyway. Most of us are stuck at work from home, so
Yes, yes, we are not. Yeah.
we
We are
can
okay.
tomorrow 8:30 we can do another session like this, so that we can do Benjamin Graham criteria 2 and Benjamin Graham criteria 3.
Yes, yes.
Actually, we want to build our own screener. That's why it is taking time.
That is most important. Even I want you to go through a very detailed way because we have to learn the things, not complete.
Yes, because when you are a value investor yourself, you have to be capable enough to build your own screens, and using the ratios which are set up by Benjamin Graham. That's why today we have calculated only 1/3 of Benjamin Graham's criteria. So we will end the session today, and 2/3 remaining. Tomorrow we'll do another session, and if necessary, we'll complete the remaining 2/3 tomorrow itself. Is it okay?
sure.
I'm okay.
What
I'm
about
also okay.
others?
I'm also okay.
Yeah, because this will take a long time because Benjamin Graham's criteria are like the base for any other criteria which are to come from any other investors, because he is the base. Others have already derived their own rules from the base itself. So understanding the base itself takes a lot of time.
It's better. It's better to clear everything on a base level.
Yes, yes.
All right, so today we have a session here. I'm anyway recording this session. Tomorrow I'll give you the entire recording. I'll stop the recording now. And tomorrow we will open the recording screen. I'll stop the recording. Tomorrow I'll share the recording with you. And Rakesh, again, whatever notes you have compiled for today's session, kindly share on the WhatsApp. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think so. We have much because already we have did practical. I can share the scenario. Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah. Whatever
Okay.
notes you've prepared, and whatever rules and whatever intuitive notes you have taken down in that file, just send us the file and rename the file as session 1, 2, 3, so that people don't get confused.
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'll stop the recording for now, and I'll exit the screen today, and wishing you all good night, and hope you have understood and hope you are all taking a good value investing. And for me, my passion is always there. So as long as I can make all of you better value investors, I'll be the most happiest person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I'm enjoying the sessions, and
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
and we might come up with some stupid questions. You have to just bear with us. But
No
the
way.
idea,
No, the questions are not stupid. Decisions made with emotions of fear and greed, they are stupid. Because as value investors, we have to cultivate a mindset of avoiding emotions. Many people are consumed by either fear or by greed, and both are disastrous.
completely agree. Yeah.
So, as value investors, over the next 9 weeks, whatever we are learning is to ensure that we never lose our money. Rule number 1, and most important rule as per Warren Buffett. So, what is rule number 1? Investing: never lose money. Rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1.
Rule number 1. Yeah.
So that's Warren Buffett for you. Everything simplified. And but of course, behind that statement, there is a whole wealth of value investing principles which we need to learn over the next 9 weeks. So you need to absorb everything one by one, practice everything, ask your doubts, and go step by step. Only then you can internalize the whole principles within yourself. Then only you'll become better value investors. Am I clear?
Completely agree. Yeah. And for the next 9 weeks, Shubhadeep, is it a daily session that you have?
No, I initially wanted a weekly session because most of the people work during the year. But I think now, for the fact that many of us are working from home, we can hold the sessions more regularly than once a week, as we planned initially.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a
I
good
agree,
idea.
I
It's a
agree.
good idea.
So that way our progress and both the continuity will also be there and the progress will also be very solid.
Yes, yes. We'll not get that gap to forget all these things. We'll be active in sessions.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll have one more session. Does everyone here agree that we'll have a session tomorrow again 8:30?
Yeah, I agree.
I think Atul, Amar, and myself, Rakesh agree, and I want confirmation from Rupesh and Praveen. And Suresh also agree.
Suresh has also written that. Agreed.
And Rupesh and Praveen both should confirm. Rupesh also. Praveen agree. Rupesh.
Which also agree.
Yes, all are agree. Yes, all are agree. Done.
All
Done.
right.
So okay, tomorrow 8:30 again we have a session.
Yeah, great.
And again we continue with Benjamin Graham. Any of you have any kind of doubts which crop up after after you sleep over it? Keep the questions ready with you. We'll solve everything. Unless we solve the questions, we'll not move forward. Today also, if I wanted to theoretically take a session, I wouldn't have taken any questions. But I want everybody to become better value investors only by clearly clarifying the questions. Even if we take 6 weeks in Benjamin, I won't have any issue. But I want to clear each and every doubt of each and every person over here. So be rest assured about that.
Sure.
So
Thanks a lot,
doesn't matter if any of you have any kind of doubt. Every doubt will be solved. Because after all, it
Thank
is
you,
our
Shubhadeep.
hard-earned money.
Right, right.
If we go to the
Right.
market with our hard-earned money, we have to be so thorough that we take full care of our research. We take full care of where our money is going, and we have not even covered so many other topics like ethical investing, values-based investing, not value investing, values-based investing, like investing which helps the environment, investing where the local community benefits. Values-based investing is there, social capitalism is there, compassionate capitalism is there. Like within value investing itself, there are millions and millions of topics which we learn over the next 9 weeks. And that too, if all our doubts are solved one by one. If the doubts are there, then 9 weeks will stretch into even more and more as per the requirements purely of the people who have doubts. So rest assured, until and unless all of you are thorough value investors, we keep on mentoring each other. Is that okay?
Yeah, great.
Right.
Yeah. So
Completely agree. Yeah.
so tomorrow 8:30 we continue our Benjamin Graham session. Rakesh, you send your notes right now.
I sent it already.
You sent it already. Okay.
Yeah.
And I will be sending the recording again on the WhatsApp today, and the new WhatsApp meeting session which I set up, I'll again send on the WhatsApp group tomorrow morning. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
So for now, good night, everybody, and have and whatever is left of the weekend, have a nice weekend. Okay.
Yeah. Good night, all.
Good night.
Thank you all.
Good night, all.
Thank you so much.
Good night, all.
Thank you. Good night. Good night to all.
Thank you. Good night.
I'm stopping the recording now.